This is The Wheel Weaves, a Wheel of Time podcast with no spoilers. Hey everyone, I'm your host Dani, and I'm the first-time reader going through this series chapter by chapter. As always, there's no spoilers past the chapter we're covering, and that means it's totally safe for first-time readers. I'm joined by my co-host Brett, who's a long-time fan, and he's guiding me on this journey. We'd like to acknowledge and thank our executive producers, Brandy and Kirkwood, Sean McGuire, Yanis, Rikky, Morrisette, Albert Lorenzo, Eddie Costello, LightBlindedFool, and the Amyrlin seat. And before we get into things today, we just want to thank and welcome Rawaton and Itai Perez to the Wheel Weaves Patreon team. Thank you so much for your generosity and your support. We really, really appreciate it. In this episode, we're talking about chapters 7 and 8 of A Crown of Swords.
Yeah, so chapter 7 is Pitfalls and Tripwires, and chapter 8 is The Figurehead.
Okay.
We're almost doing things. We're getting there.
Sort of.
There's kind of some hints about maybe things happening really soon.
I had a really hard time getting through chapter 7. I'm not going to lie.
Really?
A very, very difficult time.
Okay.
I had no idea what was happening. I kept trying to read back and figure out what was going on.
Sure. Okay.
I don't know.
Okay. Secret plans. Rand's a big fan of his secret plans.
Yeah, I know. It just seemed... whatever. Okay, we'll get into it. We can talk about it. I'm just going to need your help because even though I was doing my notes, I was like, I don't know.
Okay.
I
get
it.
We'll talk about
it. Who's talking? Who is this? What's going on?
Okay.
How are they talking about what?
Okay. I don't know why you had that much trouble on this chapter, but we're going to figure it out.
I think it was just a little too dull for me. It was too much standing around and chatting.
Okay.
Mixed with Rand's random thoughts always.
Yeah.
This is what I wanted, though. I'm going to stop complaining because I wanted to get out of Parent's Head. I forgot to celebrate with you that we're out of Parent's Head.
True.
And now we're in Rand's head.
Crazy Rand's brain.
Arguably is much more interesting than being in Parent's Head.
Okay.
I just don't know what's happening.
Okay.
I know that things are happening and it's exciting.
Yeah.
But man, I'm confused.
Does it help if you realize that he's having severe PTSD right now?
I knew that. I did pick that up.
It's really bad.
Yeah, and he's like, it's fine.
Yeah.
It's
not. And
the past, that's the past.
That was a couple of days ago. It's fine.
Whatever, I'm over it. I'm out now.
Yeah.
And even Bashir, who's like, congratulations, you got out.
Okay, let's get into it. And it's kind of interesting because with my fun fact, this fun fact doesn't have anything really specifically to do with these chapters.
Oh.
Sort of about A Crown of Swords, like the book, but kind of sort of not. I found it a while ago, and I thought, hey, why not? Let's put it here.
Let's do it now. Go.
We're going to do this. So,
go do it.
Well, it's an interview with Robert Jordan.
Those are always lots of fun.
Yeah, from June 27th of 1996, so right after the release of A Crown of Swords. So the question was posed, were you rushed ever by publisher deadlines, like in the release of the books?
Got it. Okay.
Yeah. And RJ, his response is kind of interesting just to kind of see the progression of how he wrote the books and how long it took him to write the books themselves. So he said, in a way, not with the last book, being A Crown of Swords, but The Eye of the World took 4 years to write. Each of the other books took 13 or 14 months, but the publisher brought out the second book 10 months after the first. So The Great Hunt came out 10 months after Eye of the World, even though Eye of the World took 4 years to write. Then he says the following books were released at 12-month intervals. So you can see there's a law of diminishing returns there. So for this last book, A Crown of Swords, I simply told him I could not do it again. A Crown of Swords took about 20 months to write, in fact. And that's why the book didn't come out last fall or earlier in the spring, because it was released in May of 1996.
Okay.
So just for length of time.
When was Lord of Chaos? What was the space between Lord of Chaos and Crown of Swords?
Lord of Chaos was released October 15th of 1994, and A Crown of Swords was released May 15th of 96, so just over a year and a half. So yeah.
Okay.
So that's why the spacing between the books being released started to get wider and wider.
Well, yeah.
But
got it.
There was really only ever about 2 years between books, even later on.
Yeah.
So,
okay.
Yeah.
How about that?
Yeah.
All right, so last time we were here, Perrin learned that Fael is alive.
Yes.
He was relieved, but also very confused.
Mm-hmm. Because why would she be an attendant of Colavir?
Oh my gosh, and why isn't she smiling at me?
Oh man, they're talking to me.
God.
Yeah, coming running into my arms.
Right. We also learned that Colavir was queen, and now she is no longer queen, and she is going to be a farmer.
Yeah, exciting new journey.
Maybe she's going to be a farmer. We'll see. We'll see about that one. Now, we also got that Amyrlin is missing and staying on the Seafolk ship. Oh, and she also has an Aes Sedai advisor who was a big old secret.
Yeah, forever. She always had it, so,
yeah.
Okay.
Secrets.
Are no fun.
Yep.
Secrets hurt someone.
All right. So, Chapter 7, Pitfalls and Tripwires.
Yeah. It's fun. It's interesting.
Chapter symbol's a lion. You told me that, and you know what? We came back to Caemlyn.
Yeah, we did. Here we are. Yeah.
Okay. So we entered a Rand perspective. Yay, cheers.
Cheers to Rand. Hooray.
Yay. Okay, but we enter with Rand holding the dragon scepter and feeling the brands on his palms.
Yeah, he's all very he's floating in the void. He's feeling all the feelings. He's sensing all the things.
No. He's not feeling feelings. He's feeling the feelings slide across the void.
Yeah, that's a better description.
He's very chill. He's zen. He's mellow.
Yeah, I guess. But also, fighting against the raging torrent of Saidin that wants to sweep him away.
Yeah.
In the rivers of taint. Anyways.
I know. In case you forgot what it's like.
Yeah.
This is the recap. We're still recapping.
There's a lot of it.
Yeah.
But we do get a nice little hint where he thinks, what would it be like clean?
Clean.
Yeah.
That's right, yeah. I do like that.
Yeah, because I know you're all about that.
I am about that.
Yeah.
I mean, at some point, and that tidbit just needs to be sprinkled in. Again,
oh, yeah.
It's
Just
been
a
a
little
while
bit,
since we talked about that.
Yeah.
So, Rand has a lot of thoughts on a lot of subjects.
Yes.
All at once. So, even though he's, chill and mellow in his void, he also has wildly intrusive thoughts all the time.
Yeah. And maybe they're, bouncing around because he's not super focused on any one particular thing. He's just thinking about all the problems everywhere all at once at the same time.
Sounds like my anxiety.
A little bit.
Yeah. How do you focus on just one? You can't.
Are you super anxious all the time? Just focus on every problem that's going on in your life at the same time.
Yeah. Side effects may include madness.
You never know.
Never know. Who knows? Not me. All right, so these problems include the secret Aes Sedai advisor situation with Anura and Amyrlin.
Yeah.
What those other Aes Sedai are doing in Caerhun. What the rebels are doing outside Caerhun. And what they're scheming.
Yep, the party. We also got what Savannah and the Shido are up to, and Rourke apparently as scouts looking out for the Shido.
Right.
Then we've got Fail and how she is going to do whatever she has to do to protect Perrin. That's her main concern.
Yeah, she doesn't care about Rand.
No, she only cares about Perrin, her man.
Mm-hmm.
And then Rand's thinking about Perrin and why he's being such a butt about the Aes Sedai and that whole situation.
Why? Why does he want to stand up for those Aes Sedai so bad?
Everybody's confused.
Yeah.
As are we.
Yeah.
And then also he thinks about Min and how she's the one person who he never has to think about not trusting, and she's currently asleep in her own rooms, and he misses her because she's super wiped out from the events.
Got it.
So.
Okay. And now, my favorite.
Yeah.
Lews Therin speaks up.
And not just speaks up, they're having conversations almost.
This one was a step back.
Full sentences, though. It's there's more to it.
Full sentences, but, when we ended Lord of Chaos, it was legitimately working together, Lews Therin teaching Rand how to do stuff.
Sure.
They were, buddies in there.
I would be those were, conversation adjacent. They were, really close.
I'd say they were talking to each other.
Okay.
There was a moment where I was like, hallelujah, we got it.
Dude, it was close as we'd seen.
It was close.
Okay.
This is a couple steps back.
Okay.
But we're still in the vicinity.
Okay, we're close.
We're close. So Lews Therin is back to his old crazy ways. And he's saying, they must be done away with. You must do it. Don't you remember last time? And now I don't understand what he's talking about. Help me.
Okay, so LTT is hey, Dumai's Wells was basically nothing. And also, we used to burn whole cities out of the earth, and that was nothing compared to how we destroyed the entire world.
Yeah.
And then he goes he's shouting, do you hear me? They have to be killed. Wipe from the face of the, ... And later on, we find out that LTT wants to kill not just all the Ashaman, but also all the Aes Sedai, and basically anyone who can channel is on LTT's hit list right now.
Okay.
Wipe them all from the face of the earth.
Right, okay.
Let's get them all.
Yeah, so I'm not on board with that, probably.
Why not?
Well, we need the power to beat the Dark One.
No more channelers, no more destroying the world, right? That's how it works?
I could understand why Lews Therin is concerned about the male channelers, because they're legit gonna go crazy.
Sure.
And this was Lews Therin's fault, and why the whole breaking of the world happened again, and now there's this whole prophecy that the world's gonna break again.
Sure.
And now we have all these hundreds of male channelers who are destined to go crazy.
Okay.
And I don't want it all to happen again. And Lews Therin doesn't either.
Okay.
But then Rand's like, what about me? What about you? How are we different from them?
Yeah, because they're also channelers like Rand and
Yes.
LTT. So,
Yeah.
how do we draw the line?
Yeah. And then we get a moment where Lews Therin asks Rand, are you real?
Yeah, like LTT's asking Rand if Rand is real or not. So,
Yeah.
because LTT just lives inside Rand's head.
Yeah, and he's like, I spoke to someone, I think, inside a box or a chest. And then he starts talking about being damned, and this is the pit of doom. So then he, goes off again.
Yeah, he does kind of he's having a bit of a moment here, too. What I did find interesting is how Rand thinks about how the power, when he embraces Saidin, that really draws LTT out of the hiding places in Rand's mind.
Okay.
So he's most active when he's, pulling in
Yeah,
Saidin.
there's also several different instances where Rand talks about how he has to grab Saidin before Lews Therin does.
Yeah.
And he's worried that Lews Therin will get it first, and then he won't be able to take it away from him.
Yes. Yeah, we've heard that before, and it's happening again.
Right, so now Rand tunes him out and starts thinking about how Lews Therin had been a comfort to him in the box. A companion, even a friend. And then something flashes in Rand's mind, which is weird. And I don't know what's happening again.
Yeah, we're not supposed to, but it is something new, because Rand's thinking about, LTT being a friend.
Okay.
Rand has friends, right? That's a thing.
Okay.
Well, at least LTT is becoming...
He, used to have friends.
That's true.
Yeah.
Maybe LTT will be his new friend.
Well, he is already. Okay.
There you go. So he gets flickers of color and motion, and for some reason, it makes him think of Matt and Perrin.
Oh, because they were his friends?
Possibly. It's just one of those things, tuck it away. Maybe we'll come back to it, maybe we won't.
Okay. And the flashes he had started inside the chest.
Yeah.
And he had a whole bunch of other, hallucinations.
Yes, which we know was a thing because, torture for a week and it's not good.
Yeah.
So.
Dehydration and...
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. Well, not okay, but, it's something.
I get what you're saying.
Yeah.
He's in a bad space.
Okay.
It's going to get worse.
That's all we really need to know for now.
For sure.
Setting the scene.
Okay.
That's what we call it in the biz.
Yes. Okay.
So now Rand snaps back into real time here. Because Sulin is like, hey man, if we're going, let's get out of here.
Yeah, because this entire time Rand's been floating in the void. He's not alone. He's literally surrounded by a bunch of maidens.
Yeah.
Because they're going somewhere right now.
Yeah, they're going to make a gateway to travel to Caemlyn.
Yeah, so that's what's happening.
That's what's happening. And then Rand tries to play it off. He's like, oh, sorry, I was thinking. And sometimes I think too much. And then we get an Aiel joke that
about him never thinking.
Ah, that's hilarious, Rand.
You're stupid.
Because you don't do enough thinking.
Yeah. So this is where we get that there's 20 maidens. So not a whole bunch. No. 20 maidens. And then there's 3 of the Ashaman.
Yeah.
So.
You know that joke. I feel like you breezed over it.
Yeah. No, I don't know that joke. So, that's okay.
So it says, I was thinking. And you say, don't hurt yourself.
Oh, yeah. Actually, I do that. Okay. I get it.
You do?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I feel like you're lying.
A little bit, but that's okay. Mostly trying to get you to skip over it, so that's fine.
Okay, also something weird was going on, which later made sense, that the Ashaman are not in black.
Yes. That's important for later on. For the part of the secret plan.
And it took me till my second read to even figure that out at all.
Okay, yeah, because it's mentioned. But yeah, so this is also where Sulin gets a look at Rand's face and then kind of backs away and she's like, are you okay, man? Because Rand's face clearly is showing that he's not okay right now.
In distress.
Yeah.
Let's say.
And it's going to get worse.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Mm-hmm. And then we get a very long recap about Rand's relationship with the maidens.
Yes, we do. A long one. Mm-hmm. It's the beginning of a book, though.
Right. Recap Central.
Exactly.
Now, Rand has 3 destinations tonight. That's revealed to us, but we don't get what they are right now.
Correct.
That's a secret.
And one of them is a super secret that not even the maidens are allowed to know
Oh my
of.
goodness. I thought, are we finally going to do our Samael secret?
Yeah, possibly.
No.
Okay. Well, maybe.
Really? I thought it gets revealed what the destinations are.
Okay, let's
Let's get there. I really feel like I missed a lot.
Okay. That's okay. 3. One super secret.
Okay, one is Caemlyn. One is Caemlyn, let's go.
Okay.
So Rand opens up a gateway to somewhere that smells like horse poop.
Yeah. No, and it's a strategy because no one's gonna be there because it smells so bad.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
That took 3 takes.
It did. Yeah.
This is with it. And I didn't even. I can't.
It's the horse poop. It's hilarious.
God, it just stinks.
Yeah.
Okay, so the maidens head through, and then the Ashermen come through, and then we get some information on male channelers.
Yeah.
And
but this
does some ranting.
This is important, so I wanted to break the...
Tell me about it.
It's new information.
Okay, tell me why I should care about this.
Okay, so
That's your job right now.
There's notable differences between male channelers and female channelers on how it all works. So Rand thinks about how none of the 3 Ashaman are as strong as he is, not yet, but there's no saying how strong a man will be until he stops growing stronger.
Right, until he just stops.
Yeah, and that's notably different from women, because with them, from the beginning, they can kind of tell
how strong they're going to be.
Exactly, and then it's pretty much a steady progression until they reach their maximum potential. But for men, it seems different. So Fedwin Moore is the strongest of the 3, but he has what's called a bar, which we maybe know as a block, right? It's a little bit different in the description because he doesn't believe that he can affect anything at a distance with the power. So at 50 paces, his ability fades, and at 100 paces, he can't do anything. So it's a little bit different where it's not like he can't channel at all. It's just he has...
but that's his block.
That's his
all
block.
All blocks are a little bit different, and it all sounds like they're mental, right?
Yeah. Well, yeah, exactly. So, and then the last one that we kind of get here is that men seem to gain strength faster than women.
Okay, and we have seen that.
Yeah, little differences, but fun to note.
Fun
to note for the record.
Sure.
Okay,
I already said Luce Theron does some more ranting, and it's about killing the Forsaken.
Yeah.
And so Rand points out, hey, I can channel too. And you already killed yourself and your whole family, Kinslayer.
Yeah, so it's like, hey, Rand, why you gotta bring that up right now?
Low blow.
Yeah, why are you gonna say that?
Yikes.
Jeez.
Yikes.
Don't you want this guy to be your friend?
Yeah, I thought he was your friend.
Don't bring it up when he killed his family.
Tough love, idiot.
Yeah.
That's what it's gonna be.
Yeah, a little bit.
Alright. So now, Rand counts to 100 before he follows, except kinda cheaty.
Yeah, he does. He counts by 5s to beat the system. He promised Sulin.
And Sulin's like, you're a fast counter, Rand.
You cheater.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So he steps through into Caemlyn, and Luce Theron sounds relieved that, quote, she is almost gone.
Yeah. So that's Alana, because the Warder Bond isn't an Age of Legends thing, so this is new to LTT, right?
And so Rand orders the Ashermen to release the power in the Mahale Taim way.
Yeah, release.
Right.
So, there you go.
Okay.
It's good to have, commands that everyone's aware of. It's a good system.
Okay, sure. It's like in an army, I guess, right?
If you want to rip on Taim, there's other things you could rip on him for.
I'm not ripping.
It just sounds like you're like, ooh, it's doing it like Taim.
I don't like anything Taim does. That's the issue.
It's good to have structure.
Fine.
Come on.
Gosh.
And we do get more flashes of color here.
Okay.
Like the weird ones that you were like, what's that all about?
I skipped that.
Yeah. And it's a quick motion. He gets the color and the motion, and it's just out of sight after he thinks about Fael and Perrin and Matt.
Again.
Yeah.
What's happening?
Twice in a few pages. What's going on here?
Oh, no.
What's going on?
This is something I can't even predict. I have no idea what's happening.
Yeah.
This is awful.
Oh, man. Okay.
I have no clue.
Yeah, that's okay.
I don't know at all.
Nobody has any clue.
Okay, good. I bet some people have some clues.
Maybe.
My initial thought, though, is something like, how Min has, visions? Maybe he's feeling some kind of vision-y way about his Taviran buddies. It's like a Taviran thing.
Okay, I get it. Yeah, I can buy that. Yeah.
But an aura, flashes of light. I don't know,
Yeah, no, I mean, you said Min, and now I'm trying to compare it to Min, and it's
because
not
you
at
were
all.
saying, because it was the colors, flashes of color.
Yeah.
And she sees auras and
Sure.
So,
I'm on board with it. Yeah, whatever you gotta say, it's cool.
Okay.
Yeah, at this point, we know nothing, so...
Yeah, I just made that up,
yeah.
so... Alright, now, Rand sends a maiden into the palace, and he starts pacing around, thinking about how he shouldn't have come to the place that smells like horse poop.
Yeah.
Because this place sucks.
It's really bad.
And while the maiden starts some banter about the Ashaman being the ones who smell like horse poop.
Yeah, we get a couple pages because we're killing time here, and the Ashaman and the maidens are kind of having at each other, so...
You know what I don't care about?
This?
Yeah.
This entire sequence?
All of it.
Yeah, no, it's fine.
Honestly...
Well, okay, but we also have to humanize these Ashaman a little bit, that the maidens are still picking on them, even though they're like super mighty powerful channelers
No,
and
if
stuff.
anything, that's just going to piss them off further, and they're already so uptight and angry.
But they're not just that, but also consider that they're very young. They're like 15, 16 years old.
Yeah,
they're
that's
kids,
true.
they're children.
Yeah.
Like, legitimately.
And they, yeah. Okay.
So it's really sad. And okay, I'm just
Except
gonna...
that more than half of them are probably dark friends.
Can I just bring this up too? Because there's a couple of themes in this chapter that I get from like RJ's war experience, where it's like, these kids who were brought in to become like weapons, and then they're 15, 16, they're young, because I mean, think of his time in Vietnam. It's like kids who are trained to become soldiers and kill.
Yeah.
It's
I don't
sad.
know very much about the Vietnam War, so I can't say
Well, just
much,
like
but
any war and any children who get, put into that kind of situation. So
not great.
it's bad.
Bad.
It's bad.
Don't do it.
Yeah.
Put it on the list.
On the list. Okay, we'll
Yeah.
do that.
All right. So the maiden returns saying that she found Davram, Bashir, and Bale.
Yeah, because again, this is part of the secret plan that we're learning as we go.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think the problem is I thought I should already know what's going on.
Yeah. And you're not supposed to.
And everything that happened was confusing.
Yeah.
So
It's not one of those chapters where it's like, this is what we're going to do,
I just
and then they
didn't
go and do
understand
it.
why it had to be so difficult.
Yeah. It's a lot easier on a couple rereads.
I believe you.
Yeah.
All right. So then Rand and Fedwin,
Fedwin Moore, he's one of the Ashaman.
okay,
Yeah.
take off their sword belts and put them in a bag for a maiden to hold on to.
Because maidens don't touch swords.
Okay. Why are they taking off their sword belts?
Because they're going to pretend they're prisoners.
Right.
To be brought into the palace.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
So they're
I
taking
really
off their
didn't
swords.
read this chapter. I'm sorry. I
That's
failed.
okay.
I failed this chapter.
The bag is because the Aiel don't touch swords, so they have to put it in a bag. So it's not so much that the bag is that important. It's just like they're taking off their stuff.
Okay, they're taking off their stuff.
Yeah.
Okay, because this is where Rand puts on a hooded cloak. He gets
Yeah.
his wrists tied together behind his back.
Yes. And then Fedwin does the same thing, so they're literally being bound up like prisoners.
Okay, and then Sulin starts muttering about this plan being stupid.
Yeah.
And the two other Ashman who aren't bound also don't like it and don't understand it, and I didn't understand it.
Yeah.
And so the Dragon Reborn doesn't have to explain himself.
So this is Rand's plan.
So just like suck it,
The
everybody.
plan is Rand wants to be brought into the palace to reach Bashir and Bale without anybody noticing that he's doing that. That's the plan. So it's like, oh, okay, let's pretend that I'm a prisoner.
It's a little bit over the top.
It's a little bit over the top. Absolutely.
But I can understand his wanting to stay stealthy and like secretive and
absolutely. Like there's
not
reasons.
wanting people to know where he is and
yeah.
okay.
Like it's not
He didn't
the
want
best
to walk in the Dragon Reborn in the middle of Caemlyn.
Correct.
Yeah.
And he's got a very small force.
He wants nobody to know he was there, essentially.
Yeah, and I also have to point out, because, like, yes, the plan is kind of weird, and yeah, Sulin and people, nobody really likes it.
I get the point. I understand the point. Okay.
I have to point out that what Sulin does is actually super sweet. It's really nice, because, okay, so she just tied him up, right? Mm-hmm. And put the cloak over his head, and then she steps around, and she takes one look at Rand's face, and her breath catches, and she realizes, like, and she says, they did this to you, as in, like, they bound you.
You actually were.
So Rand is literally, like, days later reliving the being bound, and the PTSD is showing on his face. Yeah. And Sulin realizes it after,
and she's,
like one look.
rubbing his arm or something.
Not
right?
yet. First, she's like, F this, and she goes to cut the bonds, like, we're not doing this. But then Rand says, no, we're doing this.
Yeah.
And then she's like, fine, and she gently puts the hood up over his face so that he's not traumatized by the dark. And we get that in his brain, that he's like, oh my god, I hate this so much.
I hate the dark, yeah.
And then frickin' Jelani comes up and snatches the hood down over his face, because she doesn't know what's going on.
Right. I also don't know who Jelani is.
She's one of the maidens, but, like, so Sulin kind of gently tucks it so that it's not, like, completely dark over his face.
Yeah.
Jelani, brings over his face.
Because the whole plan is he's supposed to be hidden.
Yeah. She's, like, joking around, but then Rand almost loses it. Like, completely breaks down because it's like, now I'm dark, and now it's like right back to the trauma.
I'm glad I have you here to explain what's going on to me.
And that's when Sulin starts, like, stroking his arm, like, it's gonna be okay, Rand.
Okay.
Like, yeah, you're bound, but we're not gonna leave you like this.
Okay.
So,
yeah.
Rand is suffering a lot right now.
Yeah, and the whole point is just so that no one recognizes him.
Yeah. So it's an excessive plan.
A little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But hey, Rand's in a bad mental headspace.
Yeah.
So
So, okay. So the maidens lead Rand through the palace, and to the servants, it looks like some maidens leading prisoners in, and nobody is going to stop them.
Yeah.
While he's walking, Rand wonders, would I know a clear path if I saw one? Or have I been at this so long, I'd think it was a trap?
Yeah, and again, we don't really know what Rand is really doing because he's got a secret plan.
Yeah, we don't know what the plan is.
We, the reader, don't even know.
We barely even know where he's going and why he's doing what he's doing.
Yeah.
It's all very confusing.
One of the big issues is usually when we read these books and there's like a secret plan, usually we know what the plan is, but it's secret to other characters.
I guess I kind of get the writing where it's like, what's going on? What's going on? And then it's revealed and you're like, oh.
Exactly.
But yeah.
We just gotta wait for the secret plan to come forward.
The problem is, this all didn't click enough for me.
Sure.
Even when it was revealed, it wasn't clear enough.
And that's assuming that it has been revealed.
Right.
The real plan.
Yeah, that's true.
Okay.
But Luce Theron chimes in and he's like, don't worry, bud.
Yeah.
It's just all traps.
Pitfalls and Tripwires and Darkness, and that's the chapter title.
That's it.
That's why we have it.
Mm-hmm. So now they get to a room and shut the door, and Rand throws his head back violently to get the hood off.
Yeah, he's suffering.
Yeah, and then he sees Bael and Bashir, and he's surprised to see their wives here too.
Yes, all the wives.
All the wives. So Bael has
2 wives, Melaine and Dorinda.
Yeah.
And then Davram has Deira.
Right, and you know what Deira has? Very specifically in her hair?
No.
Streaks of white at her temples.
Oh, because old?
Slashes of white. Yeah, she has black hair with slashes of white at her temples.
Okay.
And I'm going to point it out now from now on every single time I see it because it's been so often.
Because
that's
old.
the only way you describe someone who's starting to age.
Yeah.
Slashes of white at the temples.
Okay.
Yep.
It's a good
That's
look.
what I picked up. That's what I picked up. Mostly in this chapter.
Okay, I like it. It works. You were focusing on the right things then.
Yeah, okay. So Bashir says, congrats on the escape, bud, and the win, and everything. Wow, you're so great. We love you.
What's up with the weird disguise?
Also, you're weird.
Yeah.
And then we get that Deira wants to know if Rand is going to bring the whole White Tower down on them because they've all heard that he's taken Aes Sedai as prisoners.
Yes, Deira is not a big fan of Rand.
No.
Kind of like Fael.
Although I don't know if Deira is a big fan of anyone.
No, but that's the thing. It's like kind of the wives play defense on the husbands, which makes sense why Fael plays defense for Perrin, where she's like, I don't care about the Dragon Reborn business, I care about Perrin. And Deira is the same way with Davram Bashir, because Bashir is just a crazy, crazy dude who I love very much.
Oh.
But like, he threw his lot in with Rand real fast.
Yeah, he did.
Rand, yeah. Bashir's crazy.
Yeah. That's fine. I like it.
Yeah.
I'm for it.
Yeah, absolutely.
But at that point, though, Melaine goes off about Wise Ones taking care of those Aes Sedai if they ever did that. And then Dorinda wants to know what's happening with Colavir, and then someone else is like, Colavir doesn't matter. Like, the whole thing.
So there's a little bit of like dynamics going on because Dorinda is a roof mistress, and she's actually making a remark about Wise Ones because keep in mind, roof mistresses and Wise Ones are different. And she mentions that Wise Ones can be as blind as men sometimes because they only see the battle ahead, but they're going to miss the scorpion that stings you. And it's a roof mistress's job to find those scorpions. So she's implying that Colavir is a hidden scorpion that's going to sting you while you're focused on the big picture stuff.
Okay.
Yeah.
And now the Aiel and Bashir make some comments about wives and husbands and...
Yeah, Melaine like lightly stabs Bael. There's that too.
Yeah, and then Deira takes notice as if she's like got some ideas now.
Yeah, they're both gonna stab Bael. That's cool.
And Bashir, I think Deira is going to use this and be like, "Ooh, that's a great idea. I'm gonna do that with my husband."
Yeah, instead of just like scratch it, like actually stab.
Just light stabbing.
Works. I love it.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then Rand just, like, loses his attitude because everyone's, like, joking around.
Yeah.
Because they're like, Rand, who are you going to marry? When you get married,
blah, 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 wives.
You'll totally understand that it's cool to be stabbed by your wife.
Yeah.
And at that point, Rand just, like, loses it. Very angsty.
Oh, yeah, I know.
What woman would I hate enough to marry her to the Dragon Reborn?
Like, ugh. Gosh, Rand.
Just go listen to some My Chemical Romance.
Yeah. And
they're like, okay, tough crowd. And And so Rand changes the
Don't worry,
subject.
he like zones out real hard.
Well, he only sort of changes the subject because immediately after being asked about marriage, he starts talking about Elaine.
Yeah, he does.
So, and he's like, but I only care about Elaine because she's going to be on the throne. No other reason.
That's also half Elaine's fault for the whole letter and note situation that she left him multiple times.
I feel like at this point...
He's confused. But her, like, third letter was like, hey, I meant what I said in the letter.
And he's
right?
like...
And he's like, which
one?
one?
Your letters suck. All your letters suck.
Yeah, so it's not completely... It's partially Rand's fault. It's not completely Rand's fault.
No. Okay, though.
Yes.
So, Elaine, has she arrived? Is she here yet?
No.
No.
No, she's not. But this is kind of funny because Bashir chimes in and he's like, hey, there's rumors there's Aes Sedai with an army somewhere in Morandi or Altara, so that could possibly be Matt and the band with Elaine.
Nope.
No. I mean, sort of. It is the Saladar Aes Sedai with the band, but not with Matt or Elaine.
No. You know what I was thinking? I came up with a side plot.
Ooh, okay.
I came up with something that could happen that's actually never going to happen.
Okay.
Would you like to hear
I
my storyline?
Let's do it.
So the storyline is...
Okay.
Rand decides he needs to talk to Matt because Perrin won't lead the army.
Totally.
Right?
Yeah.
So he's going to gateway to where he thinks that they are.
Sure.
With this army.
Yeah.
With Elaine and the Aes Sedai. And it's not going to be Matt or Elaine, but it's Egwene as the Amyrlin seat.
Oh my goodness.
With like Gareth Bryn's army.
Yep.
Yeah, so that's a whole plot line that I've like derived in my head.
I mean, that might fall in line with the whole foretelling that Elida had about like, ooh, the Dragon Reborn is gonna know the Amyrlin seat and know her anger.
I feel like
blah blah blah. So
yeah, maybe.
I mean, potentially they need to have some sort of possible showdown. We're assuming it's not Rand and Elida.
Definitely at some point.
Yeah.
He's got to find out.
Yeah.
They need to talk again.
Okay.
At some point, but it's going to be condescending on both sides.
Probably.
It always is.
Oh my god!
Always
can you
drives
see the future?
Me crazy. Yeah. Yeah. Not on this though.
Okay.
I really doubt that would happen, but I just like imagining how entertaining that would be.
For sure. Yeah. I mean, and it's just like this conversation too is just a recap that Rand has like literally no idea about the Saladar Aes Sedai situation.
Literally none.
Nothing.
No.
So,
and the Abu Dar thing, he has no idea.
No idea that they're not even close to being on the way.
Yeah.
But I mean, okay, gateways exist.
They do.
So potentially, as soon as the Cloud Bowl situation gets like fixed up, I mean, hypothetically, they could just like gateway and be in end. They don't need to travel cross country.
No, they don't.
Right?
No, and they don't even have a whole army to bring with them.
Yeah. So like they could just zip zap there and like boom, we're here.
Right.
So.
Yeah. If they decide that's where they should go next.
Exactly. Like there's a whole lot of ifs around that, but potentially.
Because Matt isn't, using his strong hand.
No, he's not.
Picking that lady up and strapping her to a horse.
No, not at all.
That's never happening.
No.
No.
I mean, he's got the Terrain Grail, right? So, I mean...
He does have that.
He could, hypothetically.
He
pick her up and
do that. I would not be on board for that, though.
No, I feel like horses might get injured in that,
And also Elaine.
And,
probably shouldn't tie her up and bring her anywhere against her
we
will.
have other things to talk about besides hypotheticals.
Do?
So, okay.
All right. So that whole situation with Aes Sedai and an army in Morandi is happening, and they're like, okay. And then De'Ara says, do you mean you want those sisters to swear oaths to you too?
Yes.
And, she apparently hates this situation.
Yeah. And again, so this is from Rand's point of view, but he thinks that she doesn't like it because he's put Davram in a position where it's like his head is on the chopping block. Because, to be fair, the reason why I was calling like Davram like a crazy guy is he basically abandoned Tenobia and Saldea. He's the general of Saldea. Yeah. And he abandoned his post and took all of the army and was like, I'm following you now, Rand.
Right.
So, and Rand is like clearly opposed with the White Tower.
Yes.
It's a bad situation. So De'Ara's playing defense.
Fair.
Yeah.
Okay. So Rand says, if they choose to swear, I'll accept it. I doubt many are eager to return to Tar Valon.
Yeah.
But it's funny because that's literally where they're marching right now.
Yeah, but not like that.
Not like that.
No.
No.
Okay.
And then Bale comments that the White Tower is clearly against Rand. So if they came against him once, they'll do it again unless they're stopped.
Yeah, so Bale's like, let's go fight him.
Yeah. And then Rand is just struggling this whole time.
Yep.
I'm trying to make sense of everything that's happening, because the issue is every single person in this room who speaks has a different motive, and some are trying to change the subject, and some are saying things that are kind of out of place, and then Rand's thoughts are 100% out of place, and then, like, it was just very difficult to follow.
It's a lot. Yeah, there's definitely a lot, because we've got Deira, who, like, doesn't like Rand fighting the Aes Sedai because it's uncomfortable. We've got Bale, who's, like, with the Aiel, and he's like, let's go fight those Aes Sedai. We're with you, man. You know, more or less. And then Rand is really struggling because he is like, no, I'm not gonna slap down Elida if she's just gonna leave me alone. But Bale saying, if she attacked you once, she's gonna do it again. And Rand's like, no, I slapped her down at Dumai's Wells. And then he feels bad for referring to Dumai's Wells and the carnage as, like, in quotes, slapping down Elida.
Right.
Because literally, like, tens of thousands of people died.
Yeah.
In that battle for Rand.
Right.
So he's like, what have I become?
Well, Lews Therin literally just told him it was nothing. So maybe he's starting to think it was nothing.
No. He feels incredibly bad about this.
Oh. Okay. I don't know.
Yeah.
All right.
No, that's okay.
All right. So then at this point, Rand walks over to where there's maps or something.
Yeah, this is like a war room, basically.
Okay.
There's maps, and he's piecing out of this conversation. He's
he
just,
like,
at
leaves.
Maps. Yeah.
He starts to measure out distances, like, with his fingers to where he thinks Matt, quote, Matt is.
Yeah, which is, like, totally wrong.
Yeah, and then he thinks that Matt must not be moving very fast if that's all the distance they've covered.
They should be a lot further along here.
Especially because Matt Boso, the band, can move so fast.
Yeah.
And so maybe the Aes Sedai are slowing them down because they've got, like, wagons and
yeah, and maybe there's more Aes Sedai there than he thought there was.
Oh, yeah,
and it's like, yeah, man, way more.
Way more. But that's not the reason. It's because it's not them.
Well, but again, it is the Aes Sedai and Matt's band.
And technically.
Just without the people he wants in that group. Yeah.
That's true.
It's so bad.
I forgot.
It's the right group. It's the wrong
band
people.
Was following them.
Yeah.
Right.
Like, it's literally Matt's band.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay.
So there's an entire side conversation going on while Rand is looking at these maps about how, quote, they treated him as Datsang. Datsang.
We got that word once before.
Yes.
The wise ones are like, oh, they treated Rand like Datsang.
Right.
And we also got, like, they are Datsang now.
Yeah.
We don't know what that means, but it's like...
I think that we know what that means. I think we've heard it before once.
We did hear it before once. We didn't get a definition for what that word means.
No, we heard it before with, in reference to Isandra, when she was wearing all black. Someone told me in the Discord.
Yeah, and we got it again with the Aes Sedai being like, you know, they're Datsang now. The ones who treated Rand poorly.
Okay.
We don't have, like, an official old tongue, like...
No, we don't. But we did actually hear it before this book.
Yeah,
Which I didn't know.
Okay.
Yeah. And I, don't know if that's 100% true because I didn't fact check it.
That's okay.
But it sounds about right.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, Rand keeps looking at the maps and thinking about Ilion and the army that's gathered there to smash into Ilion.
Yep.
And the side conversation is now talking about the rebels that are outside of Caerhun, and Bale's like, yeah, let's just go kill them.
Yes. And again, that's the ideal way with Bale. He's like, we're gonna fight them. Let's go fight.
It certainly is.
Yeah.
So now Rand thinks about how Samael was always at his best when he's in defense.
Yes.
And that's Lews Therin's memory.
Obviously, LTT memories coming up here.
Yeah. And Rand knows that Samael will be at one of the forts he set up soon after Rand's army strikes.
Yeah, because we do know, and we've heard it before, that there's like the little forts being built and created along the fields between Tyr and Ilion.
Right.
So that's what the army is going to like start to head and smash into.
Right. So, you know what else we get right now?
What?
What other information we get?
What do we get?
What Rand thinks might be in those wagons that he's searching for.
Oh, yeah, you saw that. Okay,
I
good.
did.
Okay.
So Rand thinks about how his little fat man Angriel is gone.
Yeah.
And he has searched and searched and searched those wagons, and it's not for coats.
Yes,
Karen.
it wasn't for coats. It was for something. And it's actually really funny because when I was asking you that question...
I said Angriel.
You did say, and I didn't want to be like, well, what's an Angriel we know is, possibly there.
Yeah.
It was Rand's.
Yeah.
Rand had an Angriel.
I shut myself down because I was like, I don't know. Terangriel or Angriel or something.
Yeah.
And I was like, but it wouldn't matter because Rand couldn't use it. Like, I was thinking...
Yeah, like Aes Sedai
like
stuff.
Aes
But it's
Sedai
like,
stuff
nope,
he wanted to steal from them.
He had it.
Yeah, I said the word Angriel, but like in completely wrong context.
Yeah,
So I'm like medium right.
Medium, you get like a half a star.
Because I said it wasn't coats.
Yeah.
So like, that's right.
Yeah. I mean, I'm pretty sure it was pretty clear it wasn't coats. But anyways, no, I'll give you half a point for that.
Well,
so.
It wasn't clear to Perrin.
No, but I mean, it's Perrin. He's not sure about anything.
Low blow.
Yeah.
All right, so then the side conversation changes to Dylan having meetings with some Aes Sedai, and De'Ara points out that Dylan is strong enough to rule Andor, so of course she listens to Aes Sedai because only fools ignore them.
Yeah, so this is kind of the conversation.
Thing.
But this is the conversation that kind of like tunes Rand into their conversation because that's important. Dylan, if you remember, is the one who is like strong enough, to rule Andor, but she doesn't want it. She wants Elaine. She's cool with that. So
she's meeting with Aes Sedai or something?
She is, but the fact that there's Aes Sedai here to meet is the big news.
Rand's like, wait, what?
Yeah, what did you say about Aes Sedai? It's like, boom, the conversation is the fact that there are currently 9 Aes Sedai at an inn in Caemlyn right now.
Yeah, and they've left them alone for now.
Yeah.
But Bashir says that 8 sisters arrived almost a month ago after Rand left.
Yep.
And now... sometimes a few will come and go, but never more than 10 at a time. Plus, a few probably Red Sisters have come into the city a few times asking about men heading for the Black Tower and leave after a day.
Yeah, so like that's all very big news that there's like literally Aes Sedai camping out in Caemlyn, just like there's like new Aes Sedai in Cairhien. So, I mean, they are hunkering down and we're not really sure who they are all aligned with. Mm-hmm. So, I mean, the Reds, obviously, we can figure that out, but it doesn't seem like this would be the big crew that's headed out for the Black Tower yet.
No.
Because that's like a big old, 50...
And these guys got here before...
a while ago, yeah. It's just like time frames, you're never 100% sure.
But he said it was after you left, and we know that Elida was talking about that after Rand was captured.
Yeah.
So
something funky's going up, though.
A little bit. And also, did you know that plum punch is very cooling?
Yes.
We get a lot about plum punch.
But only for the fact that that's a very invasive thought from LTT, because, like, Rand thinks, I never had plums growing up, so get the hell out of my head,
well, he had
LTT.
plums, but he didn't have orchards.
Exactly.
Be very specific.
LTT is trying to, like,
Brett.
implant plum memories in Rand's head.
Ah.
Right?
I don't think he's trying. I think
Maybe
it's just happening.
The key to the last battle.
Plum orchard.
Plum orchard punch.
Plum
punch.
orchards. Do you know what an orchard is?
Yeah, a bunch of trees.
Yeah, it is. Anyway. Okay. Bashir says that the way Taim is recruiting seems to be sweeping up everyone who wants to follow the Dragon Reborn, and he has actually delivered a pretty good army to Bashir.
Yeah, I mean, that's big.
And Rand is not interested in that right now.
No, not at all.
He asks again about Dylan.
Yes. Okay, do you want me to go over this real quick?
Please, because I don't know what's happening.
Politics. Okay, so Dylan, the one that people like and would want to be queen, she doesn't want to be queen. So it turns out that some of the lesser nobles in and around Andor were in Erengil, which is like on the border there.
Yeah.
And they tried to proclaim Dylan as queen.
Okay.
And then within 4 days, Dylan like marched her butt down there, had 2 of the leaders hanged for treason against Elaine.
See, Dylan knows what's going on.
Yeah.
Why can't Rand just hang Colavir? Hang her.
Exactly. I mean,
that's what leaders do around here. This isn't me being some like crazy person.
Well, that's a little bit crazy.
No, that's what they do. They hang the treasony people.
But I mean, this is big, and I love Dylan for it because she's also smart. Because she's like, no, I don't want to be queen of the place where the freaking Dragon Reborn wants someone else to be queen.
Yeah.
Because I'm just gonna get hanged, and I'm already like the leader of a
No,
powerful.
you're gonna go be a farmer.
Yeah, or worse. Be a farmer. Anyways,
she needs to sort out her priorities.
Oh my god, I think you did it.
I did it!
Okay, let's just finish this real quick because my little rant here. Okay. The reason this all went down was because word arrived of Colavir's coronation. So people were like, okay, in Caemlyn now, let's try and do the same thing, what Colavir did. So then we've got Nain, who tried to take the throne in the morning, and then Elenia took it right after her by midday, and by the end of the day, Dylan and a couple of the ones who were like loyal to Rand and Elaine basically arrested the two women and announced Dylan as regent. So currently Dylan is regent.
Dylan.
Yeah. Regent is just basically like, you are temporarily in charge.
Is, yeah.
Some people don't. I had to look it up too just to make sure. I don't know.
Queen Regent, yeah.
Yeah, it's like you're in charge for now until Elaine actually gets her butt here.
That's
right.
So normally if like you have a small tiny child when the king dies and you're going to be Queen Regent.
Gotcha.
That's a whole thing.
There you go.
I only know it from Game of Thrones.
Okay.
Because Cersei was Queen Regent for a while.
There you go. That makes sense.
Yeah.
Dylan is not like Queen Cersei.
When Joffrey was like too young.
Yeah.
Hey, that's a Harry Potter and a Game of Thrones reference all together.
There you go.
People started telling us that every single time we make any sort of reference, we should take a shot. And
that's
I would say
we would die.
The podcast would never end.
Do you know how many references to different things have already happened all the time?
I know.
Okay.
Do you want to finish this chapter and then we'll do the shot?
Yeah, because
we have
we're like
literally
so close.
one more point.
Yeah, let's do that.
Okay. So Rand points to Fedwin and tells everyone that he's an Asherman.
Whoa! Surprise, he's not in the black coat, so how could they know?
How would they even know?
Okay.
And so he can bring messages to Rand and Caemlyn if needed, and he warns them not to let anyone know who he is.
Yeah. Like, don't let anyone know that he's Asherman.
Which is why he's not wearing black. He's in disguise.
Super good disguise.
He's got glasses and a fake mustache.
Oh, and a top hat. And a monocle also.
Very deceiving. He looks
too much.
He fits in with the royalty here.
Exactly. And a cane.
Okay. Rand tells them that he's taking the two other
Asherman.
Yeah. Over to...
Yeah, we know these names. Lord Samaradrid and
High
Lord Weiramon.
I know High Lord Weiramon.
They're in Tyr.
Yeah.
They're in Tyr.
Okay.
He's bringing the two Ashermen to Tyr tonight.
Okay. Because we'll need Asherman when we face Samuel. Ooh.
Okay. There's 3 destinations.
Yeah.
One was Caemlyn.
Yeah.
The second one is Tyr.
Yeah.
What's the third destination?
Ilion.
Is it? Because you were like, oh, I don't know if we're doing things.
I don't know either, but that's because I had to read this on my own and I didn't understand what was happening.
Fair. That's why we do book club.
No, it's... That's why we do book club.
Okay. Because the big ending to this chapter is Bael. He says, does that mean we're going to send the spears forward at last and give the orders tonight?
And Rand's
like, yup, we're doing it.
And then Bael is like, oh, can I have the 5th in Ilion when we're done? I really want my treasures, okay?
Yeah, which is fair. We need spoils of war. And Rand says, yeah, you can have the 5th.
But that's because they didn't get it in Caemlyn, so they're disappointed.
Exactly.
And
but
Rand's
Ilion is like
we're
free
not
game.
purging Caemlyn to give to Elaine.
But we're going to purge Ilion.
Definitely.
You know, F them, so.
Because F them.
Yeah.
All right.
So, yeah.
And then we basically end here with Rand hoping that Matt will bring Elaine quickly to Andor.
Yeah, so she can take over Andor and Caemlyn, and that doesn't seem like that's going to happen.
And you know what? He really does need that.
He
that
needs
would solve
them.
so many problems.
Oh, man. Rand he does need her. He needs her.
I feel like with all of the very quick modes of travel and communication...
Yep.
With the dream world, we almost have cell phones.
We do, yeah, sure.
And we have teleportation.
Yeah, we do.
We should be able to...
We are better at traveling in this world than we are in our current existence.
Yeah, and I feel like this problem that we're having, needs to be solved.
Yeah.
It's going on too long.
Okay.
This one we need Elaine problem.
Yeah. To be fair, it's been a couple weeks, so...
No, it's dragged on for 3 books.
A couple weeks.
Yeah.
No, but yeah, I get it. So it does seem though like tonight, Ilion is happening.
Okay, that's exciting.
And that's what Bael said.
And we're
Bael's
gonna
like,
switch
hey,
perspective.
we're doing, we're never coming back to this.
Okay, listen, I gotta go get shots.
Okay,
I gotta go pour shots.
Yep.
Because I made the Harry Potter reference.
You did.
And I'll be back.
Okay.
Okay, got some shots.
Yep.
Some nice blackberry whiskey. And so now,
here's to Darlin not wanting to be beheaded or worse, becoming a farmer.
Yeah. She needs to sort out her priorities.
Exactly.
Cheers. Priorities.
It's a great British accent.
That's my Rupert Grint.
Ah, yeah.
She needs to sort out her priorities.
Wonderful. Oh, my goodness.
No, so bad.
Yeah.
I'm going to cut that right out. Oh. All right. Chapter 8. Back in time. Sort of.
Yeah. So it's kind of funny because it's a very confusing thing where it's like you don't actually know what's happening until a few, like couple pages in.
I had a feeling.
Yeah, and then it's like, whoa, we're back in time.
Yeah, especially when they're like, she's wearing the bracelet.
Yeah, it's like literally then you're like, wait, what? Are we, okay, we're doing this. We're going to go back a little bit.
Okay, so we're going back. So chapter 8 is called The Figurehead, and is that Egwene?
Egwene, yes.
Egwene's the figurehead, okay.
Yeah, she doesn't want to become a figurehead.
She doesn't want to become one.
Yeah, or be one, because that's what she's supposed to be, is a figurehead Amyrlin. She has a thought about that.
Ooh, okay. I picked that up for sure.
She's a puppet.
Is that what a figurehead
I've literally
is?
done a fun... Yeah, I've done a fun fact on this, too.
I know what a puppet queen is, or a puppet Amyrlin, but, like, I didn't know what a figurehead is.
Yeah.
I thought a figurehead was just another word for someone who's in charge.
That is like, it looks like they're in charge, but it's just like they're a figurehead. I don't know how to...
They're not
how do
in
I
charge?
just define a word?
They're fake in charge.
Well, not even necessarily they're just like the figurehead. They're I think there's actually something about history of like the figurehead is like the face on the front of a ship, and it's like that's the figurehead of the ship. It's just like the face at the head of the ship, and that's all it is.
Okay.
It's just for the appearance of it.
Okay.
And I could be totally wrong, but I think I actually read something about that being accurate.
Believe your weird...
Go with my weird gut.
Weird gut memory.
Okay, and anyone who wants to correct me, feel free, because it totally might be wrong.
Yeah.
But it might be right.
We have the chapter symbol of the Forsnaken.
We do, because there's something fishy going on. You know, comma, where is Moghedien? What happened?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's hilarious.
That's what's happening. So Egwene is back in time before the epilogue of Lord of Chaos.
Yes.
Or sort of at the same time.
Yeah, like 20 minutes to an hour.
Before. About 20 minutes before, and then same time, and then after.
Yes.
Okay.
Okay.
Good. Glad we cleared that up. So this is the whole scene.
Yeah.
Because we got a glimpse. This is the scene. Egwene is in her tent on an unreliable folding chair.
Yes.
And I'm sure every single person who's ever gone camping has some sort of story, or ever been at the beach. Everybody has a story.
Dealt with a folding
about
chair.
Somebody in their family falling either through a folding chair or having a folding chair snap on them.
Or a leg buckling or something.
Something.
Yes.
For me, it's my mom.
Yeah.
Camping.
Yeah.
The folding chair, she folded right with it.
We know.
It's great. I don't even know if I was old enough to know. I know the story, though.
For sure. Yeah.
Okay. Not what we're here for. Focus.
Focus on not the chair, the rest of it.
Okay, so she's here with Swan and Sheriam.
Yeah.
And she says, we must stop here tomorrow.
Yeah, for 1 day of rest.
1 day of rest.
Yep.
So we can work on resupplying the camp with food and pretty much everything else. And then we get a whole big recap about how Egwene is pretty far away from the grandeur associated with the Amyrlin seat.
I mean, come on, she's on a friggin' folding chair here.
Yeah.
That's not what the Amyrlin seat is supposed to sit on the Amyrlin seat.
Well, we don't have that right now.
And the Amyrlin seat is not a folding chair.
No.
Unless the Amyrlin seat is sitting on a folding chair.
That would be precarious.
It would be. Yeah. You don't do it.
No. Isn't that confusing?
A little bit.
The seat is named after the seat.
Uh-huh.
Anyway. So she's doing what, she can.
Yeah, she's doing her best. She's doing okay.
And Sheriam pushes back a little and says, we should stop for 4 or 5 days or even longer.
Possibly 2 to 5 years. Who knows?
Never go back to the White Tower ever because it's scary.
We camp here forever.
It's too freaking scary. Also, we want more food.
Yes. But the thing is, if you in a gigantic, huge camp are just in the middle of basically nowhere, you can't stay here forever because there's no things here.
Right.
Yes, and we need things.
Yeah, and I like how Swan is just in the background muttering to herself about how wrong Sheriam is.
No, don't do it. Don't do it.
A hungry person's a dangerous person.
It's kind of funny because like the
My
entire
Swan voice changes depending on what situation we're in.
But whatever it is.
Remember when Swan sounded like this when she was at the dance with Matt?
Oh my god, yeah, okay. No, it's so funny because like Sheriam and Swan have this like little back and forth just because like Swan is pretending that she's just Egwene's like advisor on etiquette and she hates it.
Yeah.
And like
she's pretending like she hates actually doing the advising, but that part she likes.
Yeah. Because like Swan's new goal is to make Egwene the best Amyrlin ever in the world.
Yeah.
But I mean, Sheriam's got her own motives.
Because
So
she
do
thinks she's
Ramonda
like
and
in
Lelaine.
control of this 18-year-old girl, and we get 100% for sure age.
We do. We get a lot of important stuff here. But the whole thing is Egwene is firm on the one day because she's pretty sure, since she's having trouble with Sheriam and the entire hall, because they're all terrible to her,
God.
if they stop for more than a day, they're never going to start moving again.
Yeah.
So don't let them stop. Don't let them take a break. We got to keep moving.
All right. And so Swan speaks up again about not stopping long, basically mimicking the advice that Gareth Bryn gave Egwene, almost to the word. So that's just a little tidbit to us that Swan and Gareth Bryn are still a little bit connected.
Oh, well, for sure.
Yeah, it's just for us. In case traveling, with his army and she's with Egwene, they weren't talking anymore. They're talking.
Absolutely. What I also like is that's an indication that Gareth Bryn is speaking directly to Egwene as well.
Yeah.
Where he's he's not going through the hall and, Sheriam.
That's true.
He's going to, so she kind of has Gareth Bryn in her corner.
Yep.
Which is good.
Yep. Well, and I really don't think that he has any sort of ill will, or I don't think that he looks at her and is like, oh, she must not be an Amyrlin because she's young. He grew up with Morghedien, as a young queen.
She's in charge, so she's the one.
Yeah.
But he also has that whole thing where he told the hall, it wasn't even the hall back then. It was the 6 main Aes Sedai in charge. It's if I'm going to do this thing, you can't F me at the end of it.
That's true.
So
that's true. There was a whole thing.
Yeah. And Egwene's the only one who's actually pushing to let's go get the tower. Let's go get him.
Yeah, and I like the look that Sheriam gives to Swan.
Yeah.
Because, in case you aren't aware, Swan used to be the Amyrlin, was stilled and healed, and now she looks younger, and she can channel again, but she's super weak.
Yeah, and it's
that's the recap.
What's your position here? Because I'm keeper, and what are you?
Yeah. And so Sheriam sighs and is like, fine, one day, and then Swan gives a bit of a smile.
Yeah, there's politics, it's fun. Yeah, I also kind of find it neat that some people are cool with the Swan thing, and some, hate it. It's just, interesting dynamics.
I like it.
Yeah.
Well, I like it as opposed to her just being, stilled. I don't know. I like her healed, and I like her advising Egwene.
Yeah.
I think that they're, a dynamic duo.
I hate the social pecking order of the Aes Sedai.
Yes.
Because obviously it's terrible.
And I think that this almost, disrupts it a little bit.
It does kind of throw a little bit, yeah.
Because she's almost in this position of importance, even though she's terribly weak.
Yeah, so what could she possibly do or know?
Yes.
It's she used to be the Amyrlin.
Yeah.
She still has her brain.
I know.
Oh.
No, Brett.
It's gone.
You forgot. It falls out your butt.
Falls out your butt when you can't channel anymore. Oh, man. Okay. All right, let's talk about
Didn't we get that in the glossary?
Probably. I think that's that's an official glossary definition with Brett, so... When you're still...
That's when I start making up my own glossary definitions. It's a new segment. It's a new segment we're working on.
Danny's glossary definitions.
Definitions.
Okay, let's talk about these reports.
Fine.
Reports,
they're just so boring.
Triple copies of reports are important.
I want to talk about butts more.
Okay.
Horse poop.
Horse butts? Okay.
Okay.
Focus.
Fine.
We gotta do this.
Reports of what's happening in the camp. Tell me about it.
Okay, so there's reports on literally everything going on in camp. They're short on everything. They've got lots of people.
It sucks.
Yeah. And then Sheriam, so this is kind of the whole deal. Sheriam suggests and has suggested multiple times that Egwene lets her deal with all the day-to-day stuff because,
co-manager.
Amyrlin shouldn't be burdened with all the day-to-day stuff.
Co-manager situation.
Exactly. However, Swan told Egwene that, hey, a good Amyrlin pays attention to all the little details, including trivial stuff, because that's how you can keep an eye on what's actually happening. Mm-hmm. Yeah, and then this is where Egwene thinks to herself...
Except that I think that Swan is saying this because she learned her lesson, because she didn't exactly pay attention to some trivial stuff that was going on.
She missed it.
Yeah, the extra
workers that were being brought in, and she's like, what are all these workers for when in fact they're a bunch of friggin' mercenaries?
Right.
It's terrible. Okay. Yeah. So Egwene, this is the part where she thinks that if she passes off the day-to-day stuff to Sheriam, she's gonna literally become...
She's never gonna hear what's happening in the day-to-day.
That, she's done. She becomes that figurehead.
Yeah.
So...
Okay, I understand the term.
The puppet.
Right? I understand the term. Yeah, okay. So, also, there's someone else here.
Oh, yeah.
It's Chessa.
Yeah, we love her.
Chessa...
Do we love her? I love her. Do you love her?
I think she's pretty good.
Okay.
I think she's pretty funny.
Yeah.
I think... I don't have right away bad feelings.
Okay, because we've seen her before.
I know. I usually trust my gut on stuff like this because typically when somebody's very eager to do some sleuthing and stuff,
yeah,
you're like, oh,
Why?
Is this someone I should be concerned about?
So here's the thing, too.
But I'm not. I'm not concerned about...
I'm going to point out that Sheriam is the one who put Chessa here for Egwene. We got that last book. Because
we get that here too?
Well, no, we technically don't. Because we get that Romanda and Lane put like two other who are clearly their maids.
You have me thinking now.
Okay, I just want to keep those wheels turning.
Okay.
Yeah, because the whole point, Chessa's here, she's doing her thing.
Has she always been like an Amyrlin's maid?
We don't it's
know
kind
her
of
background,
implied.
right?
We don't know enough. We don't know a lot.
Yeah.
She seems really good at it.
Yeah.
But like we don't know enough. We don't know was she. It doesn't seem like she was Swans.
I want to trust her.
Yeah, I mean, go with your gut. Your gut is
my gut.
sometimes
it's usually
right.
You know what? With stuff like this.
Yeah.
Remember when you tried to convince me Fael was like some crazy dark friend or something?
No, but okay.
And I was like, no.
Pretty sure I've tried to convince you everybody and nobody
good.
is. Okay, so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm like, good is a relative word around here.
So, yeah.
Okay, so Chessa is also here. She seems kind of just like a batty old lady.
She's
not
that old.
She wants to take care of you.
She's like mid-30s. She's
Yikes.
mid-30s.
Yikes.
Because Egwene thinks about how she's like maybe twice her age.
Oh.
And she's 18, so she's like, Chessa's like maybe mid-30s.
Yikes. I really wish I didn't just say that. That makes me feel terrible. Because she's like, the night air is so bad for you. She's starting like a grandma.
Yeah.
The way she speaks is like...
I mean, this is from Egwene's perspective, so maybe she's...
Oh my god.
So
I'm
Egwene...
so old.
I know.
That's okay. It's fine.
Yeah.
Who cares?
This is what happens when you start reading the book.
I like
when I started reading the books, I was like
fine.
Rand's age, and now I'm closer to Tam's age. And it's like, what's going on?
Yeah, we're so old.
Okay.
To be fair, I'm not in my mid-30s. I'm in my...
Mid-early 30s.
My late-early 30s.
No, mid.
My mid
There's a system. There's a system to it. It's early 30s.
Yeah.
Mid-early 30s, late early 30s, and there's early mid-30s, mid-30s, late mid-30s, and then early late 30s, mid-late 30s, and then late 30s, and then 40.
Okay.
Yeah. There's a system, and it works.
Okay, so not mid yet.
No. You're mid-early 30s.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
Phew. All right. So Chess is here doing her thing where she tries to give Egwene advice while making it sound like she's talking about herself.
Yeah, she's super sneaky like that with her advice.
A little bit. But Egwene thinks that she's talking to just fill the silence. And because there's a lot of tension in the camp since Logain, quote, escaped.
Right.
And Egwene likes Chessa chatting because it helps her avoid certain conversations and procrastinate on making some decisions.
Yeah. She has it because Sheriam keeps trying to like bring up topics, but if Chessa keeps talking about stuff, she can just like deflect and avoid.
Sure.
It's good.
Play dumb.
Yeah, exactly. A little bit of that too. So we got some reports, so we got some short notes here. I gotta go over real quick here.
Okay.
So number one, money. It costs a lot to pay an army, apparently.
Yeah.
And Romanda and Lelaine are like, hey, let's just not pay the army or pay them way less. And Egwene says, no, we're going to pay them the same because
oh, right. I remember
if you don't pay your soldiers...
I didn't write it down, but I remember it.
They're going to leave. So, like, that's the big thing. Then we've also got Romanda, Lelaine, and Sheriam, who are all still pulling strings in their own directions because they got, like, the triangle going on. The interesting thing is that Egwene thinks how Delana, who we know as Black Aja, she's the only one who Egwene can really count on, and then not really even throughout.
Egwene.
So don't count on the...
Oh,
no.
my God.
Okay.
Also, get Nynaeve and Elaine back.
Come on, right? Okay.
Yeah.
And then the last part here, this is where Chessa comments about how the new maid is going to get trained properly, because now Egwene has 3. So Chessa was Sheriam's, Mary is Romanda's, and then Salami?
Salami?
I don't know. Salami? I don't know.
Salami?
Doesn't even matter. Lil Wayne got her, so that's the new one.
Salami.
Yeah,
Okay.
It's really funny, but we get some like tidbits of information that are actually super important because we get a hard number for the army count.
Okay.
So Egwene's army is now roughly 30,000 for the army.
Cool.
Pretty good.
Yeah.
In the prologue, Alviarin reported to Elida that her reports were showing 20,000 and growing. So now Egwene's at actually 30,000.
Okay.
But Elida was like, nah, there's not 20,000.
There's no way there's that
2
much.
to 3,000
Yeah.
and maybe that.
Yeah, Elida's wrong and terrible. We all know that.
But it's like, what is the White Tower preparing for versus
Right.
what there
I
actually
also
is.
want to say you're welcome to everybody who thanked me for finally getting on board with not really liking Elida.
I mean, it took you a couple books, but I mean, I get it.
From the point of view of
Yeah.
my first reader perspective, I understood where she was coming from. She turned into a crazy tyrant.
Yeah.
I think that her character shifted from the first couple books.
I agree. No, it's kind of like on an exam where it's like justify your answer, and as long as you justify your answer,
Yeah.
I'm going to give you points.
Yeah.
So yeah, you justified
You're a
it.
good professor.
I would be. That's what I always say.
Maybe one day.
You
What are
never know.
What are you gonna You could be a professor in classes about the Wheel of Time.
There you go. Boom. Easy.
They have classes about all kinds of stuff.
True. We could probably make this happen.
Let's do it.
Okay.
Okay. After this, though.
Yeah.
Okay, let's finish
Okay.
this first.
Okay. One thing at a time here.
Is that it? Is that the reports you
Yeah,
care
that's
about?
it.
Okay.
Yep. Because now we get to the kind of confusing part.
Oh, where Egwene thinks about how she has 4 maids because everyone thinks that Moghedien is also the Amyrlin's
And then we're like, whoa, wait, what? Isn't she gone? But no, in fact, she is not gone
and then
yet.
Egwene feels for the bracelet out of her pouch and absently, puts it on.
Yeah.
But she can still feel, quote, Moghedien.
And we're like, wait, didn't she escape? But not yet. Not on the timeline. Okay.
So
Yeah.
Egwene can feel that Moghedien is asleep now, and she thinks about the punishment if a secret Moghedien gets discovered. It's pretty bad.
Yeah. Well, I mean, stilling and whatever. But we do get some, again, interesting Aes Sedai politics because we got introduced to, secret histories of Amyrlin's and the White Tower with Elida.
And Alviarin.
Where
they're only some people get to know this stuff.
Yes, there's definitely secret reports
This
and
is
stuff
back to
doesn't
that
get
whole
put in.
thing where it's where we're hiding our history.
Yeah.
We don't love it.
We don't, we're going to bury it real deep and only certain people are going to get to know it.
Right.
Anyways, so this is where we get that Siuan was only raised Amyrlin because 3 before her had died after just a few years on the Amyrlin seat. And in that whole convoluted mishmash of Amyrlin names and stuff, we only had 2. So now we know that there was 3 Amyrlins before Siuan.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Okay, from the timelines of everything that happened.
Okay, sure.
Okay?
Sure.
And then we get some time frames. So, rarely is anyone chosen for a sitter for the hall before she wore the shawl 70 to 80 years at least, and Amyrlin's generally longer, if not much longer. So you have to be an Aes Sedai for 80 years plus to become an Amyrlin. Mm-hmm. So then the Hall had this weird thing where they deadlocked between 4 sisters being raised Aes Sedai who had less than 50 years experience, and then one of the Whites suggested that Siuan, who had worn the shawl for 10 years, she should become Amyrlin, and then partly because of Siuan's qualifications in administration, and maybe because of exhaustion
also,
or whatever.
her eyes and ears.
Yeah,
who, I guess they didn't know that because that's for the blue, right?
Yeah, that's a little bit separate, but it's they kind of deadlocked between choosing, and then Siuan got put up because there was 3 before her who died.
Okay.
Died.
Okay, good to know, and definitely quiz me on that later because I was listening.
Yes. Okay.
Okay.
I'll keep it in because we got stuff to talk about in the future.
Okay.
Anyways, and long story short, this is basically why Egwene was raised, because she's a child who had grown up with Randall Thor, and she's a figurehead. Hence the figurehead.
Got it.
So.
Okay. And so now at this point, Egwene is being super careless, and Cherry M sees the bracelet and says, that looks like a bracelet I saw Elaine wearing, and Nynaeve. They shared it if I remember correctly.
Yeah. So good job,
A little
Egwene.
bit sneaky, Cherry M.
I mean, sort of.
Paying attention.
But if these girls are literally trading the bracelet back and forth.
It's kind of weird. It's a weird thing.
It's terrible.
Yeah, they shouldn't be doing that.
No.
That was weird.
They were not. They're not careful at all.
Oh God, they're
and now Egwene is being super not careful.
And she's
putting
like,
it on
it's the same one. A remembrance gift. They gave it to me when they left.
It's phew, dodged a bullet. Good job. Okay.
And Shariam's like, okay.
Yeah.
But she doesn't want Shariam to linger on this, because if she ever notices that it matches the necklace of Moghedien, then it's oh my God, so many questions.
Oh no. Okay.
God, I'm not that good at improv. Okay.
Yeah.
So Egwene changes the
subject.
I
stole it from them when they left.
It was actually Moghedien's. We stole it from her.
Ah.
Okay. So Egwene is we got to talk about something else. So here's a bit of information that Siuan dug up.
Yeah, a long time ago.
Yeah. So
Or about a long time ago, too.
About a long time ago, and here we are going to get some answers.
Yes.
So, a few days after Swan and Lyanna arrived in Saladar.
Yes.
So,
long time ago.
Long time ago.
Yeah.
10 sisters left. 2 from each Aja except the blue. Where did they go, and why?
Yes. Good questions.
Then Sheriam's like, you don't care about the ins and outs of all this stupid Aes Sedai stuff.
Yeah, she does a lot of like ducking and dodging and diving and dodging. So
she definitely
like,
does.
You don't know. I don't know. There's so many people. How could I possibly keep tabs on everybody?
And let's talk about this in private. And she looks over at Chessa.
And then Chessa gets sent out, and she's like, how about more private? Because not Swan. And then Swan's like, nope, I'm staying.
I already know this. Yeah.
So.
And then Sheriam finally caves. And you know what? Good for Egwene.
Yeah.
I loved this. This was huge authority power move.
She like holds her feet to the fire. She's like, you got to tell me, Sheriam.
She's calling Sheriam daughter, and she's like fully stepped into the Amyrlin shoes, and she's getting the answers here.
Yeah, like really trapping her into like the oaths so she can't lie about like dodging the questions.
Tell it to me straight.
Give it to me. Yeah, give me the Ariel answer here. So
you can't handle the truth.
Yeah.
I don't know. All this stuff, right?
Yeah.
And then we get what the answer is.
Yeah.
Sheriam says, well, when we learned that the Red Aja was responsible for setting up Loghedien as a false dragon, we felt something was needed to be done. So, Elaida was sending out demands for every sister to return to the tower, so we chose 10 sisters to do that. They should all be there by now, quietly making sure that every sister in the tower understands the truth of what the Reds did with Loghedien, and not even the Hall knows that, like, that happened.
Yes. Yeah, because at the very beginning of Saladar, we had the 6 Aes Sedai.
We didn't have a full Hall yet.
No, we didn't have a Hall at all. We had the 6 Aes Sedai who were kind of like all in charge, like Carlinia and Beonin and all that. So, but I mean, this is kind of like a lot of big information because now we know that there's spies for Saladar in the tower, but we also kind of know that there are tower spies in Saladar.
Definitely, yeah.
It's a spy situation, so
it is a spy versus spy situation.
And we also get the fact that Egwene knows that the tower has been broken before. This isn't the first time that the tower has broken and fractured like this.
Interesting.
Yeah, but again, secret histories, because how could we possibly let anybody know that our foundations were crumbling?
Never, ever.
Okay.
So Egwene asks, like, why keep this a secret from the Hall? Because surely none of them would betray the plan to Elaida.
Yeah, because if they're going to let themselves be chosen to become, like, in the Hall, that's, like, direct rebellion and might be one of the ones who are, like, going to get stilled.
Fair.
Right? So...
Okay. And Sheriam sort of dances around the subject a little bit more, and then Swan jumps in and is like, the Black Aja! Who can say for sure that someone might be a Black Aja? Oh my god!
Yeah, and like we already know Sheriam is like super uncomfortable on this and every other topic.
And we also know that Swan is super obsessed with the Black Aja.
Right, because she's the one who sent Egwene and them originally on the quest to hunt for the Black Aja.
That's right.
Yeah, who can say? Who can say?
Yeah, and so Sheriam glares at Swan again, but then nods reluctantly.
Yeah, and I mean, this is a big thing because they didn't tell the Hall because it'd be very upsetting for anyone in the Hall to not only say that, oh, we're not going to tell you about these, the ferrets, as we get an Egwene calling them later.
Yeah.
We're not going to tell you because we think you might turn on us, but also because it's like that hint of an accusation that we think that you might be Black Aja yourself, and that's like the most offensive thing.
The most glaring problem here is that nobody trusts anybody in this organization that's supposed to be like protecting the world with wildly crazy powerful magic.
Yes.
That's the problem.
That is a big problem.
We should trust each other.
We should work on that. How do you trust someone if you don't know if they're like secretly working for the devil?
You can't.
Come on.
Oh my god. Can't. Can't. That's the problem with this entire series.
If only there was a way.
I figured it out, guys. Yeah. Okay. So now, just as Egwene is about to like drive home with exactly what she wants here.
Well, because she's like, Sheriam's off foot and she's gonna twist her arm basically into,
doing something.
Well, or like revealing information, or like
giving her orders, or
just really putting Sheriam. We're not really sure what.
Place we don't know. But she gets a sudden stab of pain shooting through the back of her head, and she realizes that a man who can channel is touching the necklace on Moghedien, And she can sense Moghedien feeling pain and then hope.
Oh,
and
no.
then all awareness is gone because the necklace is off.
Yes.
And then this leads me back to the whole, like, how would Egwene connect the pain feeling with a man touching the link?
So I have more answers that might help too, because I mean maybe there's stuff from the Shanshan, but also keep in mind like Elaine literally created this Adam.
Yeah.
Like she made this one.
That's
this isn't
true.
like a Shanshan invent.
No,
This
it's
is
not.
She made this one.
Okay.
And they also had a man who can channel here, so maybe in one of the tests it's like, oh, this is what happens. It's very, very plausible.
I don't think so.
Well, I know you don't think so, but it's
because,
like, it's very...
Well,
there's
no. Because
multiple
when it was
opportunities.
made, Logain couldn't channel.
Sure.
Yeah.
I'm just saying, there's opportunities where it could have come up, and maybe there was something we missed way back in the Shanshan land.
I just think that this is very convenient.
Okay.
For the plot line, for Egwene to know for sure it was a man who did it.
At
and
some
this is
point,
just another one of those differences between men and women channeling.
I mean, how many
that I just have to accept.
How many things can I give you as options? I'll dig back.
None of those were good enough. That's the problem.
I get that. I'll find more. Next time we talk about it, I'll find more.
Yeah, okay.
Okay.
That Logain one is new. It's super weak, but that's new.
Well, it's possible.
No.
Okay.
No, it's not.
It's like, yo, Logain, touch this.
No. Oh my god. See, like, even you say that, it's just ridiculous.
It's possible. They wouldn't say yo, but you know.
No. It's not.
It's a good day. Logain, touch this for a second.
Good day, Logain. No, of course that's not that.
Okay.
It's just a thing that's just kind of like a little bit convenient.
Fine, let's move on. Okay.
Okay. So Egwene is like, oh fuck.
No.
And you know, the problem is I already knew this happened.
Yeah.
So this isn't like an oh shit moment. Because,
you're waiting for it.
Because we're waiting for it.
Yeah.
I was like, is this when this happens?
Yes.
So she runs out. This is the scene basically we've already seen before.
Yeah.
We see the beginning of it where she's like, I need some air. I'm overwhelmed. Swan, find out everything from Sherry about the ferrets. I mean the sisters.
Yeah.
And then Egwene leaves, hoists up her skirts, walks over to Moghedien's tent, finds her gone.
Yeah, this is where we picked up in Lord of Chaos when she like pokes her head in and Chessa comes up behind her and she's like, night air, terrible for
night air is terrible for your face.
Or your skin or something.
Your lungs?
I don't know, all of it?
It's bad for you.
It's bad for you. Get out of the night air.
Get out of the night air. It's dark.
The air is darker, thus heavier.
Thus more
in your lungs.
Evil.
In your lungs. Exactly.
Darker.
Right.
Got it.
That's science. Yeah.
No shadows.
No.
There's shadows.
Maybe there are
shadows. Moon shadow.
Okay.
Chessa follows Egwene back to the tents where Egwene is going to sleep.
Yep.
And she just keeps ranting about, like, Merrigan being a terrible and wicked maid who ran away.
I love it.
And Egwene's mind is just spinning, trying to figure out what could have happened. She's speculating like crazy. And we saw this.
Yes.
Logain, Rand, Ashaman, guys.
She does land on, like, okay, maybe
and
Forsaken.
Then she does land on Forsaken.
And I love how she lists them all, and it's, like, all, like, a bunch of this information is just, like, terrible.
It's all recap, though, a little bit. About,
but also
like,
incorrect. It's like what she believes is true.
Well, okay, to be fair, everything she lists off is technically true.
In her perspective, for who
and
it could be.
In timeline-wise. For
what she knows. Like, even the fact that Asmodean is on this list as being a potential.
Oh, that's true. So Asmodean is dead.
Yeah.
So, but the whole, like, Aegonor and Balthamel thing, which I'm still, like, pretty much sure that that's the only
like the two that make sense for, like,
for those
Berengar, Osengar.
Yeah, those are the ones. And then, but she gives us the recap on Moraine killing Balal and
Rand killing Ravine.
But here's the thing: every single time she lists off somebody dying, she's like, "I think they're gone. They're probably still dead. They're probably gone and dead. I don't know how Forsaken get killed. I hope they're dead." That's literally, like, all of it. And so I like that sort of, she has that sense of, even though I saw them get balefired, or I know they were, destroyed in some way, I'm still not 100% 100% convinced that they're gone.
Okay, that's fair.
I appreciated that from
Yeah,
Egwene.
I get it. It's fair. It's fair.
Because that's how I feel all the time.
Yeah. She does have some really funny thoughts, too, because she thinks to herself, any Forsaken who steps into their camp is going to find circles forming on every side of him or her.
Oh, what a good plan!
But then she immediately is like, oh, if we can realize or recognize who they might be.
Yeah.
Because there's that.
It's funny, because when she thinks this, I thought to myself, well, the last time we saw this, we recognized this was a terrible plan.
Yeah.
But then I realized Egwene wasn't here for that.
That's true.
So she just knows of the plan.
Yes. We're going to form circles and get it.
And it sounds like, okay, maybe, sure.
Yeah. But the actual, like...
The actuality...
Yeah.
When the pots and pans are attacking us.
And then how you carry it out. It's just, it was very ineffective. Like, people died here.
Wandering the streets with novices.
We're going to get you.
Yeah.
But I mean, and then Egwene, and it's hilarious because she has a thought, the Forsaken show no signs of agelessness for some reason.
Right.
Right? And she thinks maybe it's some effect of being connected to the Dark One.
Okay.
Because Aes Sedai are ageless.
They do have ageless faces.
And Aes Sedai think it's because they use the power a lot.
Right.
But we know lots of other people who use the power a lot.
Yeah.
Like every other faction of every channeler ever.
Yeah. It's true.
Yeah.
You're right.
So.
I know.
Yeah. It's just like a funny thing.
It's a
funny little tidbit.
Funny thing. All right. And then Egwene tells Chessa to bring Swan and Lyanna to her, but don't let anyone hear you or see you. This is very secret. I need to talk to Lyanna and Swanna in secret. Here we are. And Chessa's like, ooh, okay.
Yeah, she loves the schemes.
Well, that's...
The plots, the schemes.
All from Egwene's point of view. And now I'm like, is she going to tell Sheriam about this?
Okay, because like,
I don't think that's the worst thing ever. I don't think it's terrible for Sheriam to know things that Egwene's doing. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, it's like the Forsaken thing, though, right?
Yeah, the Forsaken thing, that's bad.
Yeah.
That's bad. But it's not that Chessa's gonna know what's happening. I don't think that they're gonna speak freely in front of Chessa. Although, we have seen people talk very freely in front of their servants all the time.
That is an issue, too, so...
well, I guess we'll see. I think it would be a mistake to just be chatting about escaped Forsaken.
Yeah. It'll be nice if Egwene can, like, rope in one of these three at least, like, to kind of be on her side, like, start getting Sheriam on your side a little bit more.
Oh, Sheriam, you mean?
Yeah.
I see. I thought you meant the maids. And I was like, no, don't rope anyone in or trust anybody.
Yeah, no, don't try. But it's like Romanda, Lane, or, like, Sheriam, like, bring... She does need allies in the hall.
Yeah,
like,
she
that's
does.
Clear.
Yeah.
It can't just be her. She needs
friends.
friends.
And I think, like, browbeating Sheriam into believing that she's a leader is really not the way to do it.
Okay, that's fair, too. Yeah.
Shoot.
Okay.
So now Chessa runs off, and Egwene waits and thinks about her predicament.
Yeah.
And that's the end of this chapter.
Moghedien is for sure officially escaped.
Yes. Okay. Good. Good news.
Yep.
And we're officially away from Rand and what Rand is doing. I'm interested.
Okay.
Let's go.
We'll see what happens next.
We'll see what happens next.
Maybe it's back to Perrin. Who knows?
Yeah, and just a heads up, next episode we are covering one chapter. So we have painstakingly rejigged our schedule, recording schedule.
Yes.
Several times.
Yep.
Based on number of pages and what's happening in each chapter.
And there's one big whopping chapter.
Huge.
So we had to like kind of twist things around just a little bit so that we don't have to record like, 70 pages in one sitting.
Yeah. That's just not great for anybody.
Next time, one chapter.
One chapter, chapter 9. We're covering that. That'll be it. And then the following chapter, we'll be back to 2 chapters, 10 and 11.
Yes.
So.
And then chapter 12 is the big whopping,
one.
like 40-pager.
Yeah.
So that one is going to be a single chapter too.
Just to give everybody a heads up about where we landed with the whole thing. And then after that,
should be back to
2. And we'd be good to go.
Yeah.
Awesome. So now I'm going to say, before you have a bunch of secret plans, don't let anybody in on it, including the reader. I'm going to say that this is part of the pattern now.
Yeah, it's part of the pattern.
Thanks so much for listening, everyone. The Wheel Weaves is hosted by Dani and Brett, edited by Dani, produced by Dani and Brett, with Essen, Passion Socks, Mozyme, Moltude, Benjamin, Michelle O'Brien, Jamie Young, Cody Fouts, Megan Smiley, Jonathan Reese, Vince Lewick, and Margaret, with music by Audionautics. If you are interested in supporting us and the podcast and also getting some really cool exclusive merch and access to early episodes and bonus episodes, you can check out our Patreon at patreon.com/thewheelweavespodcast. For general information about our show and us, like how to send us shot glasses, how to join our Discord, how to get in touch with us, things like that, for all things The Wheel Weaves, you can go to thewheelweavespodcast.com. Please be sure to give us that 5-star review because it really does make a huge difference. And tell a friend about us because referrals really are the best compliment. Thanks again for listening because this really is part of the pattern now.